Colonel Rob Maness has a lifelong record of providing dedicated service to this nation. Having worked his way up from the enlisted ranks to full colonel, he served our country for more than 32 years. He has served as a bomber squadron commander, bomb disposal technician, Joint Chiefs of Staff Operations Officer, assisted the National Security Team with the campaign plan for the global war on terrorism. He authored the first theater nuclear war plan and served as the Vice Commander of America's largest airborne intelligence wing. Colonel Rob Maness is a true American hero. This is Rob Maness Live.
One of the patrons who stepped forward to help was Adam Smith, a former Green Beret. Adam transformed the parking lot of a Harley-Davidson dealership into a makeshift airbase to help distribute supplies. Did an incredible job, Adam. What an amazing act of citizenship and service. And I think Adam might be here. Where's Adam? Adam, come on up here. Say a few words, Adam. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Great job. I've seen him on television quite a bit. What a job you've done. Thank you.
Can I give you something for it?
Yes, thank you.
This little token for the guys.
Beautiful. Thank you.
That's been with us since the third day. That's for you. And this is the moniker they've given us.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. President. I appreciate it.
Please.
I just want to say thank you for coming. Thank you for everybody here. The biggest fear that Western North Carolina is sitting on right now, at least from the communities we've talked to, is being forgotten. And to have you here and have an opportunity to have this conversation at a national level will keep Western North Carolina on the map and not leave the communities holding the bag on the back end of this. So we're very grateful that you've shown up, and we're very grateful that you've taken the time. We're also appreciative in the timeline that you did it. It gave us space to operate and function and gave us space to provide relief where it needed to go. And we're very grateful for that, Mr. President.
Thanks, sir.
Thank you very much, sir.
Great job.
Americans who love our country and each other, we're going to win. You know, this is normally Training Tuesday, but I'm just going to call it Truth Day. And the Rob Maness Show is live on Worldview Tube and X-Space's simulcast. And folks, I flew over every state of this nation for 3 decades as a military enlisted man and officer. I never saw red states or blue states. I only saw red, white, and blue states. I've seen Americans spill their blood for America with my own eyes. Americans of every race, every creed, or whatever else one wants to identify them by. And the only color of that blood is red. Their blood is the physical manifestation of the last full measure of devotion that millions of Americans have given freely for all of us, this nation, the greatest gift God and mankind have ever given to humanity. We did that because we were able to put aside our differences and unite around one set of core ideas: the right to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. On October 27, 2024, what we witnessed and tens of thousands of Americans attended was representative of the millions of us that are left in this country who will still sacrifice our very lives, our sacred honor, and our fortunes to preserve those values and this country for our children and grandchildren. The leftist and establishment authoritarians currently holding power in our government chose to call us all Nazis because of the rally in Madison Square Garden, because they have chosen a path that is indefensible in civil discourse. We will fight them. We must fight them with every tool at our disposal. This show is one of those tools because we present the truth about the Americans that still believe and will continue to do so until I am unable to speak into this microphone. To help us all tell some truth today, we've got Mr. I'm Fired Up himself, former U.S. Navy Seabee, firefighter, podcaster, and a true South Carolina American, Chad Caton with us. Chad, welcome back to the Rob Maness Show.
Well, Colonel, I don't know about you, but after that, I could go out and kick somebody's ass real quick. That was a hell of an intro, and I feel every word that came out of you. I've seen a lot. We're in trouble.
Yeah.
And we have to put Donald Trump in that White House. There is no way around it.
Yeah. You know, what struck me with that opening video is, and now you understand why I texted to you after I had laughed at our text where I was trying to get Adam Smith on the on my little show, is that I see that he's going to be a little busy with media, so he doesn't need me.
I will help you get
that
Adam. We'll help you get Adam. We actually talked to him yesterday, so we'll get Adam
that's
on
fine.
For everybody.
Yeah.
I promise.
That's fine. I only point that out because I watched him do that with the president. And here's what stands out to me there. And I don't know if you guys were there watching it. I hope you were standing right there with him, because that man, Donald Trump, he's a city boy from Brooklyn, but he grew up on construction sites too. Okay. Mm-hmm. And he's standing literally on a construction site the size of frickin' Belgium.
Yeah.
Which is what's going on in Western North Carolina. And he's comfortable there. And he may be wearing a suit and tie and everything, but he deferred to Smith and even made a joke. I've seen him on TV a lot lately. That's the Donald Trump that people that are called cultists, in a pejorative sense by the lamestream media, but people that are voting for Mr. Trump and believe in the policies that he implemented, most of them in the 45 administration, and all of us are here because that's the man we see right there, not the man that's being portrayed. And then to just take Adam Smith there, who is, look, he's a retired military guy. He's an Army soldier, right? Who did what we do. It's what we Americans do. He created a landing zone and a logistics hub out of what? A Harley-Davidson shop?
A Harley-Davidson shop that was flooded. Yeah. And
he actually
got FAA to make that landing spot where we landed our Blackhawks and Robinsons and Lakotas, and he actually made that area FAA controlled. They had guys out there with radios, and it was amazing to watch, though, Colonel, because it was like walking into a really bad almost comedic military movie set. Everybody's walking around in boots and silkies. For you ladies that don't know what silkies are, those are little running shorts. And everybody's walking around with a ruck or they've got their 782 or their full-on plates and backpacks and combat boots. And I mean, it was special forces for days up in there with Adam. You know, I was in there with Boone Cutler. We went in there. We actually flew the Black Hawk that took me and Boone to set up logistics in some of these outlying areas that you couldn't get to by road. We landed there in Savage, actually refueled ourselves. And then at the same time, we're able to bring our data to Savage Freedom, the Savage, what they called Savage Freedom, which was that airfield. And we were able to bring that logistics to them so that they could do constant by going to specific areas, be it relief or Poplar or these other outlying areas, and we gave them real intel from our trip to going up into the hill. And it was a real FOB, a forward operating base. I mean, it was nice to be around, back in it again, if you will. The camaraderie was pretty dope. There's a lot of the looking at each other like, what were you in? Were you special forces? And were you? I was the only Navy dude in the whole place, I think. You know, and I just walked around and said I was a CB, and they're like, shit, I owe you a beer for this and this and this and this. So I got a lot of pats on the back and a lot of love from my my SF boys that were there with Adam. But it's a phenomenal. He deserves the Congressional Medal of Freedom, in my opinion, and I do not say that lightly. Especially when somebody like Joe Biden's gotten it, Obama and the rest of these idiots. You need to give it to Adam Smith, and it needs to be given to him right after Trump gets in, because he has been this stalwart leader in everything that's happened in North Carolina, especially there in Western North Carolina.
Wouldn't it be something if President Trump broke from tradition and awarded that during his inauguration speech?
I would hope to be.
That would be something, wouldn't it? Somebody clip that out and send it to the Trump organization, will you? That's what I think he should do. As a matter of fact, that doesn't break with tradition. He's going to be the commander-in-chief of the United States Armed Forces, and the Congressional Medal of Freedom is the highest honor you can get for a non-military person in this. And Adam Smith has been both. Maybe we should give him a Medal of Honor too. at the same time. That would be precedent setting. It's never happened before. And you know what? If a freaking actor, an actress can get it, no offense to Ronald Reagan intended, but if a freaking actor and actress can get it over and over again just because they spread money on a president like Joe Biden and Barack Obama and anybody else, then certainly Adam Smith should get the Congressional Medal of Freedom and the Medal of Honor. I'll just go ahead and say it. Give him the Medal of Honor too, sir.
You're right.
That would be amazing. An amazing re-entry of the United States of America into what it's supposed to be, the shining city on the hill, the beacon of freedom and prosperity and liberty, instead of the dark, dank place that we live today that's censorship and oppression and moms having to choose between putting gas in their car to get to work and buying groceries for their babies. That's where we're really at today. Wouldn't that be something?
It would be something. And what it really would say to the American people and to the entire world is that the United States of America is no longer going to prostitute what we think is important. A medal is going to mean something. It is not going to be given to some pedo from Hollywood because he happened to send money or help you during your campaign. No, it's going to mean something. We talk about medals. We talk about our Love Me wall. I'm one of the very few military guys, and so is Colonel Maness, that don't have all of our awards and crap behind us. I got pictures of my dog because that's what means something to me right now. I don't need you to say that I'm a war hero or that I'm a this. I just need you to hear what we're saying, and that's the truth. And somebody like Adam Smith, who just dug himself out of Swannanoa and decided to go up to a Harley Davidson grassland and say, hey, you know what? I'm going to put a fob here. I'm going to get my buddy who's good at comms. I'm going to go to the FAA and say this needs to happen, and I'm going to start asking helicopters to come in. NASCAR, you crushed it. We had Joe Gibbs' helicopter there. We had Roush Racing. We had Hendrick. They all started coming in with their helicopters. Then came Corey Mills and his helicopters with Mercury One. And then old Black Betty, the only privately owned Black Hawk in the United States, came rolling on in and started doing work. And we are proud to be a part of her that operation with Black Betty. And I'm just telling you right now, man, what he did and what he accomplished and the people he saved. That's the most important. The people he saved is nothing short of amazing, and it will tell the American people and the planet that America is going to do what's right, and we're gonna honor the right people for honor, courage, and commitment. We are veterans, and we don't have an expiration date, and Adam Smith showed that in all of his grandeur in what he did there at Harley Davidson and Swannanoa, which took me almost 2 weeks to learn how to say.
I'm still learning how to say it. So before we get to this break here in a couple of minutes, how many lives do you think he saved, Jed? Can you quantify it?
I can't. I'd like to say some stupid overt number, but really, Colonel, does it matter? If we know it's more than one. And he did that on his own board, and he got all the other veterans from all over the country, and they all just came down there and said, not on our watch. It's not going to happen. I watch people get in people's, government agencies would come by. They actually had security at the road and said, nah, we're not really wanting you in here. Thanks. Have a good day. We already had that.
Now he did let the commander of the 18th Airborne Corps did land there and chat with him, didn't he?
Yeah, he did, and he was so impressed that he actually put two of his it's like the mountain jeeps they have, the mountain buggies. They would come in, they could put 14 guys on there, and they're all hanging off this thing all over the place. And they came in every morning and they did whatever Adam Smith needed them to do. And that's what was great is that that commander, I believe it was a colonel, was very, very cool and loved what was happening. And then that's when Heel Corps and myself and Boone took the same concept, and we wanted to do on a further away airfield there and help organize that with two amazing people, and Dan and Paula Nunez, and set up the Avery Airfield.
Outstanding. We need to capture all this in a lessons learned for future people, because it'll happen again when all of us are gone. So we got to document it, man. I'm glad you guys were there with General Flynn last week, documenting. His voice will help us get the word out. But we got to keep Adam Smith and all those like him like you guys in the forefront of people's minds, because the people of Western North Carolina still need help. It's cold up there. It's snowing up there. They need propane. They need generators, those kind of things. Go find out. You can go to Heal Corps and their website and find that kind of information. And you can go to Cajun Navy, United Cajun Navy. You can go to the Samaritan's Purse. I think maybe Adam's got a website up too. It's Savage, right?
Savage Freedom.
Savage LZ, Savage Freedom. Those kind of things. So go help them out. They still need help. People are cold. They're hungry. They still have to have places to sleep. The folks that are helping still have to have places to be able to get some rest while they're resting up to continue to do that job. Well, we got to take a commercial break. We'll be right back. And all right, the gloves are off now. I'm not a freaking Nazi. I'm fired up here because we're both fired up. This is BS. We're going to take them out for the rest of this show, and we're going to give them the whooping of their lives because we're Americans, and Americans who love this country and love each other like Adam Smith are the ones that are going to win. We'll be right back.
Hello, I'm Brandon House of WorldviewTube.com. Do you remember when Fox News left us hanging high and dry 4 years ago on election night? Well, I sure do. Well, why would you want to go back and watch them on election night? And you don't have to. You can come right here, WorldviewTube.com. We're going to have with us live in studio Leo Holman, Colonel Rob Maness, Garland Favorito, on location at Mar-a-Lago, Roger Stone reporting. And we'll be getting updates and reports from the head pollster at Rasmussen, Mark Mitchell. Tell your family and friends and join us beginning at 6 p.m. Central, 7 Eastern on election night, November 5th. WorldviewTube.com. You can also watch us on your flat screen television. Just go to Roku, type in WorldviewTube, and before you can finish typing it, it'll pop up. Save us as a favorite on your home screen of Roku and watch us right there on your flat screen television. Or watch us through our iOS app, WorldviewTube. WorldviewTube.com. Tell your friends. WorldviewTube, committed to helping you understand the times.
But that jamboree happening right now, you see it there on your screen, in that place is particularly chilling because in 1939, more than 20,000 supporters of a different fascist leader, Adolf Hitler, packed the garden for a so-called pro-America rally, a rally where speakers voiced anti-Semitic rhetoric from a stage draped with Nazi banners. When a Jewish protester rushed the stage, the Associated Press reported, quote, instantly, a dozen or more stormtroopers set upon him, knocking him down and beating him as he held his head in his arms. Most of his clothing was torn from his body. Later, he was booked for disorderly conduct. Now, against that backdrop of history, Donald Trump, the man who has threatened to use the military against opponents he calls enemies from within, who has threatened to use the troops to quell what he says are lawless cities, and to use those troops to carry out mass deportations of immigrants, is once again turning Madison Square Garden into a staging ground for extremism.
Welcome back to the Rob Maness Show on Worldview Tube and our X Spaces simulcast. And my guest today is Chad Caton, host of I'm Fired Up, former CB, firefighter, great American from South Carolina, political operative. I'll call him an operative because he is. He understands politics and Republican politics in South Carolina better than anybody I know. Anybody, even the people in office, probably more, especially those people. But he also understands what that video clip really means. And what that video clip really means is the mass media in this country, not us, the little guys that are independent media, but the mass media, the legacy media, the regime media, the corporate media is pushing a narrative that's a lie. It's an absolute lie. There were tens of thousands of people in Madison Square Garden on Sunday. They were black. They were Hispanic. They were Jewish. There were more yarmulkes in the videos that I saw on Israeli flags than I've ever seen at any rally for any political candidate. So Jewish people, They're celebrating this man, this movement, this thing called Make America Great Again. No, it's just America. This show's titled Americans who love America and love each other as Americans are going to win. Those devils that are in that video talking, trying to present that false narrative, they're going to lose. They're going to lose so badly that they're going to regret ever saying that. Chad, welcome back to the Rob Maness Show. I'm sorry I went on a little bit long there, but I'm fired up today. This is really ridiculous at this point. What say you?
Colonel, I could not. Look, these people are disgusting. To sit there and say that all of those Americans in New York, and see what pisses them off so much is that you are in their grand big ol' apple, right? You're right down in the middle of where they all hunker down and eat rats, and they're excited about every bit of what New York has. We own New York. Oh, New York is blue. And then MAGA came to town. And then their whole world went to, excrement. They had a problem, and they got exposed for it. And what they do, they came out and called us Nazis. Well, there was a black lady did the national anthem in there. Not real. I'm not real up on my Nazi culture, but I don't remember black Americans doing a whole lot with the Nazis other than Jesse Owens kicking Adolf Hitler's ass in Germany. That's the last time I heard of a black guy doing anything with the Nazis. So for them to sit there and call us Nazis just goes to show how much of an abject failure they are, how much of a worthless candidate they have inputted into the position, because she's never gotten a vote. And they know how very bad that she is. They know how very bad they are looking in the early vote. So what do? They go for the creme de la creme, try to put the Nazis in with us in Madison Square Garden. Well, you know who was there first, Colonel? You know who was there before us and actually took the Democratic nomination? Bill Clinton. So welcome to the Third Reich, Bill. Because apparently if you speak at Madison Square Garden, you're automatically a Nazi. This goes to show you how very scared they are. And one of my favorite theories in the world is FAFO. And that's what they're finding out right now. The finding out part's coming November 5th.
Yeah, today, I think it's today. Harris is in D.C., right? Giving her closing statement. And it's all about the fake narrative from January 6th, just like the fake narrative from the Madison Square Garden rally. If that's all they have, is that, and they have no other argument to make people want to vote for them. What does that say about the left in this country and the establishment?
Because their policy is garbage. Their policy is total garbage. Wait, I like guns. I have a gun. So does the stolen valor Tim Walz. We have guns. We're not taking your guns. Literally, a week prior to her taking it was the White House put it out on Instagram that we're coming for your ban. We want to ban assault rifles, whatever the assault rifle is. They're still not talking about assault hammers. Have you ever been to Lowe's? There's some serious hammers on the wall up there. Like serious. And we shouldn't be rude about it because Nancy Pelosi's husband got had an assault hammer. This is something that they can't even get out of their own way. This is the best part because all they can throw at us is Project 2025. How many people have to say that's not anywhere near? Plus, the person that wrote Project 2025 actually just went out and endorsed Kamala. You can't make this up. But you know who they're playing to, Colonel? They're not playing to you. They're not playing to me. They're not playing to the people on WorldTube Network. They're not playing to the folks on Twitter. They're playing to the low-hanging retards that are sitting out there believing this BS. That's what's pathetic. That's where we are right now, is that the dumbest part of our society is sitting back right now going, oh my God, there are Nazis. They had a Nazi party at the Madison Square Garden. Burn down Madison Square Garden. Burn it all. That's what you just did. You just became the fascists you call us. You cannot make this up. And it's only because we have allowed our education system to make so many very stupid people. And now it's got to the point of danger. And that's where we are today. Sorry, I lost it.
And as no, you're right on point, Chad. Believe it or not, I can't believe I said that. Yeah, you're right on point. I mean, not every day are we both on the exact same target. Okay, and you're right on point. Even Mayor Adams, the African American mayor, and I don't use African American very often. I mean, if I want to identify as some segment, I usually say Black American, but he said this Hitler thing on Trump is really, and I'm paraphrasing now, not quoting, it's a dumb idea, and it's wrong. Even Mayor Adams, who is pretty left, I mean, he's not totally off the charts left like Kamala Harris and her ilk are, but he's pretty left. The mayor of New York City said it was the wrong thing to do. I mean, they have no. Go ahead.
I think after they started bringing up all the indictments, which Trump called, when he said this migrant thing's got to stop. As soon as he did that, Donald Trump goes, "Oh boy, they're going to indict the mayor." And sure enough, here they are indicting him. So I think he's doing the moonwalk back to the center. I don't think he's got so progressive anymore because he's looking for a friend. And Donald Trump even called it out and said, you know what? They did it. I'm called it. They said it. Welcome to the MAGA movement, mayor from New York. And he's upset the apple cart big time in New York. That's what's beautiful is that we have to, and that's what we've been saying forever, Colonel, expose, 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 expose. Let them be seen for who they are. Don't beat them up. Don't go out there and start crap. Be the type of Republican that is about law and order, but expose the bejesus out of them so that any of these low-hanging fruit, not too intelligent people will go, wow, I don't feel good about this. And then once you make them feel uncomfortable, they have a tendency to go the other way because, well, they're not that intelligent. So hopefully we can reach them with this and Mayor Adams can in New York.
And that's the beauty of free speech. We're so blessed to live in a country where I can actually say free speech on a public communication line, and the police aren't knocking on the door immediately. Now, they may come later, but the beauty of free speech is that it exposes the totalitarians. It exposes the freaks. It exposes the stupidity of their messaging. It exposes their hypocrisy. It exposes where they get their power from the more you let them speak. You know, the worst thing that the German elite could have done in the 1930s was imprison Adolf Hitler and suppress his speech because that left their elite, many of whom were Jewish people, with the sense that he had been suppressed enough to destroy his ideas. It actually has the opposite effect, which is why I am a free speech purist for the most part. I hate speech laws. Almost couldn't get that out. I've run for office against specifically a Republican that voted to pass hate speech laws because that's the wrong thing to do. And Kamala Harris is going to be on the mall in D.C. at the Capitol today railing against the free speech patriots that marched on that Capitol on January 6th. Set aside that there was some small riots that broke out. And nobody knows exactly which side acted first, to be honest with you. Even with all the video and all the witnesses, nobody really knows because we can't get the damn truth out. We can't get all the facts together. Not even through the courts we can't. But she's going to be railing against stopping people from expressing their opposition to the regime's policies. That's what she's going to be railing against, and she's going to be saying, see, you must stop Donald Trump because we made up this insurrection narrative, and he's an insurrectionist, even though he's never been charged with insurrection. He couldn't even been charged with seditious conspiracy, and they did do that with those fake charges against the Proud Boys and the 3%ers that were up there. Some of them. It actually put Enrique Tarrio in jail for 18 years, I think. It's crazy what they've been able to get away with. But she's railing against free speech. She's supporting the opposite of what the United States of America stands for and what every American that I talked about in my openings, blood has been spilled into dirt around this world over and over and over again to protect. That's why they're losing, isn't it?
Well, they're losing me for all of those reasons, and the fact that the American people have been able to go to the bank and pay for their groceries and their gas, and at the same time realize the minute Donald Trump was out, all of a sudden there's hell in the Middle East. There's a war in Ukraine, and all of a sudden now you've got Congress talking about we can't fill our coffers in our enlistment in the Army and the Marines and the military. So we need to talk about bringing back the draft. For anybody that is under the age of 21 that votes for Kamala Harris, just on that alone, you're setting yourself up to be the next bullet sponge for the United States of America Democratic Party, or commie, whatever you want to call them. That's where we're at right now. And the abject failure of this administration, and they're actually trying to double down with Kamala, is utterly ridiculous. And I heard it on Bongino today. If you're voting against Donald Trump because you don't like him, you're an idiot. You don't care about us firefighters, do you? You don't care if I'm a good person when I show up to your house and you tell me your baby's in the second story. All you give a flip about is that I take that ladder, hit that second story, and go through that window like the frickin' Kool-Aid man and get your baby out. That's what we need in this country right now. That's what this planet needs right now for the American people. And I'll be damned if it's going to be Kamala, because the American people, as much as it seems many of them are very triggered and dumb, I do not believe that overwhelmingly this country is going to put such a commie, progressive idiot in the White House. And it's going to happen November 6th, and we are going to see history be made in the direction of this country in the right direction. Finally, it'll happen so quickly people won't even know where to go, because Donald Trump knows where the bathrooms are in the White House. He knows where the office is, so he's not going to need all. You can take all the in-dock out, right? Now you just walk in there and start throwing pins everywhere and saying, here's what we're going to do. That's going to be awesome.
Absolutely. It's going to be so awesome. We got to take another break, Chad. When we get back, maybe somebody will have the courage to raise their hand and ask a question. I don't see any hands in the live audience right now. I don't know. Maybe it's a bunch of Kamala Harris supporters out there, and they're afraid. We invite you, Kamala Harris supporters, to ask a question and challenge the ideas of America. Challenge us, because you'll lose. You'll lose, lose, lose. And we're going to fight you until you lose over and over again with those bad ideas. We'll be right back on Worldview Tube and X Spaces simulcast right here with Chad Caton.
We live in uncertain times. In fact, we live at a time when our own governments all over the world are warning us that there could be big problems with our power grid. World War III seems to be right on the horizon. Let me ask you this. Do you have a satellite phone? Should communications go down with cell towers? Do you have a satellite phone to get a hold of that college student or your spouse who travels, whatever it might be, to get a hold of your senior adult parents? We have satellite phones at worldviewtalk.com, and you get the satellite phone for free when you sign up for their very reasonable payment programs for the service. Sign up for the service with a reasonable contract, get the satellite phone for free. Worldviewtalk.com. You'll also find they have, well, what I now have, which is a solar generator. Yeah, I have a gas generator, an LP propane generator, but what if that goes down? I want to back up to my backup. So I now have a solar generator as well. You'll find them at worldviewtalk.com. Check it out today, worldviewtalk.com.
The newest line from Kamala and her campaign is that everyone who isn't voting for her is a Nazi. We're Nazis. You know, years ago, my father, I had a great father, he's a tough guy. He used to always say, never use the word Nazi, never use that word. And he'd say, never use the word Hitler. Don't use that word. It's like, I didn't even know why. Don't use that word. And then I understood it. And yet they use that word freely, both words. They use it, he's Hitler. And then they say, he's a Nazi. I'm not a Nazi. I'm the opposite of a Nazi. I don't know. My father always used to tell me, don't use the word, you don't ever use the word Nazi. And, you know, it's incredible now the way they talk is so disgusting and just horrible the way they talk. And they don't mean it even. They just want to do, they think that they can sell. They've called me everything from a mad genius looking to take over the world to a very, very stupid person. I've covered from stupid to mad genius that will eventually succeed in taking over the world. Now, these are bad people.
Welcome back to the Rob Maness Show, and we're live on Worldview Tube and our X Spaces simulcast, and we're anti-Nazi. That's what we are. It's a sad thing that Mr. Trump has to tell the story about what his dad said to him. And it's very clear. His dad was right. I grew up that way too. My grandfather and my dad and my uncles and aunts would never use that word to refer to any American, ever. Or Hitler, any of those things. It's atrocious what's happening in this country with the left and those that are in power that aren't on the left that want to keep their power. Because trust me, it's not just Democrats that are behind this, folks. It's a lot of big money. It's a lot of establishment power. And they don't like that this man has the right message. And it doesn't even have to be this man. I've run on that message before he ever ran for office, and it was successful to the point it scared the hell out of the establishment. So it's not just the man, but the combination of this man with his ability, his wealth, and his ability to sell the ideas is what's doing it. And it's got them running so scared that they're drilling this idea into half of the American people. And Chad Caton is my guest today. And Chad, what it's doing is it's causing things like we saw reporting late last night of a mail-in ballot box, a drop box in Washington State. I think it's in the 3rd Congressional District, where our friend Joe Kent, former Green Beret, is running against a Antifa-supporting Marxist who's in the office right now, was set on fire late last night. So that's just the tip of the iceberg, folks. We're starting to see shenanigans being played in Pennsylvania. And before we go on, I want to do a little bit, ask the question. If you're in Pennsylvania, have you voted yet? Let me read you. Here's a little letter. I got a letter from a young lady from Gen Z. You were talking about Gen Z, the young people in this country. She's working on Cliff Maloney's Pennsylvania ballot chase operation. And the PAC that I chair, Gator PAC, has raised millions to support the Trump effort and the MAGA effort in this election cycle. And we've invested well over $55,000 or $70,000 now into the PA chase operation. And her name is Faith. She says, I'm here in PA knocking doors with the PA chase program. The PA chase team is all in on doing the hard work on the ground, fighting fire with fire to match the Dem strategy on mail-in ballots. We are making great progress to get to knock 500,000 doors. Cliff let me know that you personally sponsored me. The money that we send to them sponsors these door knockers. My stipend, my housing, and gas cards. I am so grateful that you believe in saving America. Her words. When we win in Pennsylvania in November, we will have you to thank. No, I have you and your generation to thank, Faith. Your generation's guts are going to be on some foreign battlefield somewhere if you don't get this man put back in office. I guarantee it. Can't I, Chad?
You're absolutely right. And man, we didn't even set this up. I even got me a Gen Zer. I went and found one on the street. Look, I pulled him in right here like this. Look at this alpaca.
Oh, bring him in.
See, look at that right there. Stand up, because you're.
Oh, you weren't kidding. He is an alpaca.
He's an alpaca. That's his call sign, alpaca. This is my buddy Max, and let me tell you, he's a Gen Zer and trying to figure out life as he goes. But he's got a headset on so he can hear you. But this Max is one of those people trying to figure out the world, but at the same time, he is a staunch, and I mean staunch, Trump supporter, and he's 18 this year. So hopefully we can get him in there to vote. We don't know. Do you see how you're not in the camera? You gotta focus. It's hard being around me, Colonel. We trying, but
get up close to him, Max.
You've heard everything the Colonel said today. You're Gen Z. Tell America how you feel and why you had to vote. You have to vote for Donald Trump.
I mean, I don't want any wars. I mean, when Trump was in office, we had 4 years of peace. We didn't have any foreign wars going on. We figured out everything. And with Kamala being president, I don't think she'll be in charge at all. Like someone else will be pulling the strings, and it won't be her because the way she's done her rallies, it's all teleprompt. It's all the same.
Yeah.
Basically, you said Kamala's full of shit.
Yeah. They see right through it. My youngest son is 20. My youngest son is 20, so he's that. And he came down the stairs last night and said, "Mom, Trump was on Joe Rogan, and Hulk Hogan was at the rally." And she goes, "How do you know who that is?" And he looked at her and he goes, "Well, every young man in America watches the WWE. What are you talking about?"
That's right. Everybody knows who Hulk Hogan is, right?
I mean, we had no idea that he was paying attention, but they're paying attention because they know, they've seen enough. Even if they're not part of a military family, they've seen enough to know that moms and dads shouldn't have to choose between grocery money, gas money, and work to feed and clothe their children. It ought not to be that way, and it's not been that way under Donald J. Trump. And that, I think, it's a clear message, right, Chad? Harris and Biden broke it. Trump can fix it. I mean, he's got a record.
He's already got a record of showing that he can fix it. Man, one of my favorite stories of Donald Trump is the ice rink in New York. They spent millions of dollars and couldn't get it done. And Donald Trump said, "Hey, dummies, let me take care of this. I'll pay for it so we can get this historic ice rink to work in, I believe it was Central Park. I don't know." And he did it in it took them years, 10 years. They couldn't get this ice rink to work. Donald Trump had the thing fixed, up and ready to go within, I think it was 3 months. And then said, "You know what? Take it out of the budget. I'm going to maintain it because you people are retards. I'm not going to allow you to deal with it. And I'm just going to keep maintaining it so that this historic monument here or the historic rink in New York is always going to work and it's going to be fine." This is who Donald Trump is. Donald Trump has more awards from the NAACP and all of the other NAN and, fake out Reverend Al Sharpton's group. They kept giving him all kinds of cool awards that line his office. And then the minute he came down that escalator, he turned into a Nazi, a white supremacist, a homophobe, you name it. What about, I mean, the list of things we've been called is ridiculous, along with Donald Trump. Yeah. And the sad part is he had 4 years with people coming after him the entire time, yet the entire planet was peaceful and we were prosperous. Mm-hmm. And that is why when you do go vote today, tomorrow, here, coming up, November 5th, make sure you vote down ballot. Don't just go in there and say, "Yay," and pump your Trump shirt and say, "I voted for Trump." Vote down ballot all the way. I don't care if you like that Republican or not. Vote for them. Because if they're a Republican, we can call them out and we can get the rest of the caucus to get in their insides and give them a bunch of crap too for not doing what they're supposed to do as a conservative. If you choose not to vote for them, then you give an opening for the Democrats to take over the House, the Senate, or both, God forbid. And then we're just going to be dealing with a whole bunch of executive orders that are going to be flipped over as soon as a Democrat may get into office again, which I hope never happens.
Oh, I'm so glad you said that. I'm so glad you said that. We'll say it again before the show's over, hopefully, because that's critically important. You must vote down ballot. Look, Carrie Lake's out in Arizona. There's one way she's going to win, and it's called Donald J. Trump's coattails. You guys got to go vote for people. I mean, look, I've had to hold my nose 1,000 times when I had to vote for some of these people with R's by their name, but I have had to do it. All right, we finally got a hand up in the live audience. I must have shamed them into it. Go ahead, Shell, who's our great host over there.
Shell ain't scared.
All right, Colonel. Yeah, no, I am not scared. But I'd like to know what the alpaca Gen Z guy thinks of this. We have some breaking news. The emergency services in Bucks County, Pennsylvania have just shut down the voting line in Doylestown hours before closing time. Now, who exactly are the Nazis? Now they're stopping these lines. What is happening here, sir?
So let me translate. I speak Z. So basically, in Pennsylvania, one of the polling places shut down early, and we have to win Pennsylvania. How do you feel about that?
I mean, wait, did they shut down the whole ballot?
Yeah.
I mean, that's ridiculous. Why would they do that? I mean, like, unless we got something to hide or they're trying to do something else or like flip the ballots or cheat.
See, that's just it. We can't prove that they're doing that, but why give us the thought process, right?
Yeah, why?
Here is a Gen Z, 18 years old, like when was your birthday?
September 28th.
September 20th. Just turned 18. He's brand new. Still smells like a brand new 18-year-old, right? And this guy already figured it out. Like, well, that's stupid. They can change the vote. I mean, this isn't brain surgery. This isn't great punditry. This isn't political science. This is just straight up common sense. And here he is, brand new spanking 18-year-old, brand new man, if you will. And he just said, that's ridiculous. Why would you do that? And then he was able to quantify why it's ridiculous because of X, Y, and Z. They could be flipping votes. They could be doing this. They could be doing that. You figured it out, right?
Yes, sir.
So why do you think they're doing that in Pennsylvania? If you don't mind me taking over, Colonel, I got to talk to him about this.
I mean, I feel like
go ahead. You got about 40 seconds.
To decrease Trump's votes by not getting as much votes into Pennsylvania by shutting down the ballot.
Because they have to win Pennsylvania. 40 seconds. He did it in 10. See?
Yeah. Pennsylvania's nickname is the Keystone State. And the reason why Gator Pack, and you can donate to Gator Pack at gatorpack.com, GATORPAC.com, folks. That's where we're putting the money right now is for these ballot chase operations and ground operations, because the reason why they need to win Pennsylvania is because we are winning Pennsylvania with those numbers. We're beating their butts in the mail-in ballot, where in 2020 they creamed us with it because we didn't have a plan. That's what's going on. And they know that Pennsylvania goes, Donald J. Trump gets the number of electoral votes that it needs from the Electoral College, which is over 270. We'll be right back. When we come back, we'll see a little clip that I titled, "We Are One People." And that's a message that we have, and they don't. They hate it. We'll be right back with Chad Caton on the Rob Maness Show, and it's Truth Day, and we are giving it.
nation that we all love. We bleed the same blood, we share the same home, and we salute the same great American flag. We are one people, one family, and one glorious nation under God. We will never give in, we will never give up, we will never, ever back down, and we will never, ever, ever, ever surrender. Together we will fight, 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 and we will win, win, win. We're going to win, win, win. November 5th will be the most important day in the history of our country. And together we will make America powerful again. We will make America wealthy again. We will make America healthy again. We will make America strong again. We will make America proud again. We will make America safe again. And we will make America great again. Thank you, New York. God bless you. God bless you all.
Thank you.
Welcome back to the Rob Maness Show, and it's Truth Day, and the truth is the Nazis are on the other side. That message is we are one people. It's my message. It's his message. It's my guest, Chad Caton's message. It's every American's message. The other side is the divisive side. They want to divide you to maintain their power. They want to divide you to continue to be able to send American kids to die on foreign battlefields that are not in America's interest. They want to divide you so that poor people stay poor. They want to divide you so they can murder little babies in the womb at their will. They want to divide you in order to keep your place. And that's not what Americans are. Americans are one people. We're unified. We have RFK Jr. endorsing Donald Trump. Tulsi Gabbard has joined the Republican Party in addition to endorsing Donald Trump. We are one people. And Chad Caton is my guest today. Chad, we got a couple of hands in the audience. You want to take a question real quick?
Let's do it.
Because we're coming down to the end of the show. All right, Shell, go ahead. Who's first? Cetra?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. I will be super brief. I just wanted to let Shell know that I've got her back. You know, I can speak up because I'm just developing this confidence. At 38 years old, I'm learning I'm not a dumbass. I am officially an honor society student, and I share the Colonel's as well as Chad's enthusiasm. I am completely fired up, which is just freaking wonderful, you know, and yeah. Love America, love Donald Trump, and I was so enthusiastic about voting down ballot that when I saw a Democrat incumbent as the only option on the ballot, I was like, nah, fuck that noise. I clicked the button to put in a different name, and I wrote in my own name. So yeah,
Right.
Republicans for the win, and you're right. All right, I'm going to be quiet now. Thank you. Have fun.
I thought I'd work at the sanitation commission. I wrote my name in there. I was like, who can take out the trash better than Chad freaking Caton? Me. So I wrote my name in there because I didn't know nothing about those morons. And they're rhinos anyway, and they try to manipulate the whole waste management thing. But I love that, Centra, and I love hearing other people find their voice. You know, I was just talking to Max off camera, and he was like, that was pretty cool. And that's what it is, man. Get out there. You feel it. You sit there. You sit around the water cooler, and you have these conversations. Go out there, grab yourself a microphone, find yourself a space, and tell the world. You never know the people that you might reach. And that's where I started long ago. And Shell will tell you, she saw me back on I can't remember the name of the app anymore, but she saw me back there, and I was talking to myself and two other people, just losing my mind, talking about how stupid the left is. And that's why we continue to go out there and put shine as the best disinfectant, be it the sunshine and the best disinfectant, especially for dirty communist. Well done, Cetra.
Oh, absolutely right. Well done, Cetra. Okay, we got another question. Is that Larry Brock with his hand up there, Shell?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Hey, I absolutely agree with you about uniting America. However, the aberrant behavior of Mayorkas and Garland, do you really feel that doesn't deserve some type of investigation and possible, I'm going to say, criminal recrimination?
Let's just put it this way, and then I'll let Chad take it after I say this. There will be consequences once Donald Trump gets elected. Because every American that's a thinker that loves this country knows those two men are wrong. Mayorkas was actually impeached. And the person in charge of the Senate and the Republican in charge of the Republicans in the Senate didn't insist on him being tried as per the Constitution of the United States. So they violated their oaths of office. So, and then Chad, I'll throw it over to you, let you take it on. But that's absolutely right. But right now, we're focused on winning and fighting and getting this man and his people in Congress across this finish line. Go ahead, Chad.
And you're absolutely right, Larry. these people need to be held accountable. I've got a really cool friend that said he would be more than happy to be the Secretary of Retribution in General Michael Flynn and my buddy Ivan Reichland. I'm going to tell you right now, the American people, when Donald Trump gets back in there, and that's what the left is losing their mind about, they're afraid we're coming for them, because we are. This is a country built on law and order. This is a country built on, if you do wrong, no matter who you are to be tried and dealt with, especially when you are put in the most amazing position to protect the American people. The number one job of government is the protection of its people. We have never seen anything more egregious than what has happened at our border, and to the people that have lost loved ones because of this open policy at our border should and is, I believe, will be adjudicated in the court of law. I believe it's going to have to be, because if not, our republic will always have that hole in it if we don't deal with the higher echelon of our government that in fact did the dirty to this country. And those people need to be dealt with. And I pray to God every day that you find a General Michael Flynn back in that secretary position, or even better. And me and Boone were talking about when we were up in North Carolina. How about Attorney General? Let's make General Flynn the Attorney General. You don't have to be an attorney. Just make him the Attorney General. That's right. That would be super. I would love it.
Yeah, you still call him General. And, we've said for a long time, Larry, it's a great point, because, the failure of the legal system will be the failure of the country. That happens in any country, but especially in this country. And Garland has to be held accountable, and he will be held accountable. I'm watching, and a reminder as to why is I'm seeing Steve Bannon having a press conference on the monitor here. I've got the sound turned down, but it's his press conference after he's released from 4 months in federal prison today, because he tried to do what every other person that's worked in the executive branch directly for the president did, is work through the legal process to make sure he didn't accidentally reveal executive privilege information when he was subpoenaed by Congress. And because of that, he was sentenced to prison after he was found guilty of obstructing that.
How many other
subpoena.
people right now? AOC didn't show up. We've had a bunch of people not show up to Congress. Right. None of them are going to prison.
The last Obama Attorney General didn't show up, and he was found in contempt of Congress. He was never charged. So they're broken and abused the legal system, and that will lead, if not held accountable, that will definitely lead to the failure of this nation, because there's a reason why the founders built the judiciary branch separate into this country, and a reason why the executive controls the Department of Justice. And I think you will see Donald Trump break the faux independent DOJ mindset that the narrative tries to push when a Republican's in office, but doesn't give a damn about when a Democrat's in office. And he's going to push through it and shatter it for all time. And it should be. He should be talking to whoever he appoints as Attorney General every single day, so that Attorney General is right on track to hold all these people accountable, because there's a boatload of them, isn't there, Chad?
Yeah, and I think you're going to see a lot of that with Elon and the rest of his cabinet. You got to remember, when Donald Trump takes that office, which he will, he's a lame duck. He doesn't have to kiss anybody's ass. He's in there to win for 40 years and do the right thing. And you know what? The mainstream media, the enemy of the people, and the people that have been allowing these people across the border, you should run. Run.
They should be very afraid. Not that somebody's going to come physically hurt them, but they're going to be held accountable. Can you imagine when Howard Lutnick and Elon Musk are sitting in the Doge office, wherever they choose to put it? Maybe it'll be at a McDonald's, where they temporarily hole up in a McDonald's to have their meetings or something. Can you imagine those two guys taking apart this massive Leviathan that has too much power, that does its own will against the American people, Chad? I'm so looking forward to that. There's going to be so much popcorn popped as we watch this happen. It's unbelievable, isn't it?
Well, Diesel's excited, and I am. And since you said that we're not talking about violence, we're not. So I want to say hello to my FBI agent that listens to me all day. Thank you for diligently following me, and I hope you enjoyed my conversation I had with Max earlier about America. So thank you for that.
Well, thank you, man. Well, we got about a minute left. Chad, give us your final thoughts. I'm going to rerun this show this coming Thursday as part of the closing message for the campaign from our perspective, you and mine. And by the way, Chad and I are both on the Veterans for Trump Coalition for the campaign as media surrogates, and we're honored to work for Gunnery Sergeant retired Jesse Jane Duff as volunteers, and we appreciate everybody's help getting the word out, especially all the veterans in this country. Go ahead, Chad. Parting thoughts and where they can find Heal Corps and those kind of things to help people out.
HealCorps.org. I'm fired up. #2 on Twitter. Now, with that being said, America, we have one shot at this. We have one shot where we go out and get this back. We have one opportunity for you to take a little bit of time into your own heart, your own family, your own community. Look at your grandchildren. Look at your children. Look at your dog. I don't care. Whatever motivates you to go stand in that line right now and early vote. And then if you didn't get it done, get your butt to the poll November 5th. I don't care if your boss tells you can't. Call me and we'll make sure he understands that you have the legal right to go vote on that day and go do it. We have one shot at this because I assure you, everybody, the other way we fix this, nobody will like. Nobody. We have one opportunity to save this republic and what it is, and it ends November 5th. Go make sure your voice is heard and do it right.
Go vote. Chad Caton, he's fired up. I'm fired up. We're going to win. But we got to run like we're 10 points behind and vote like you're 10 points behind. So go vote and take people to go vote on Election Day on November 5th. Tomorrow, Whistleblower Wednesday. Communist Congressman Benny Thompson from my home state. He's got a challenger, U.S. Army man, and Physician's Assistant Ron Eller. He'll be on the show tomorrow as my guest. I'll see you then.